What is up, my friends? I am Daevin. It is raining outside, but I wanted to make this video today for you. The lighting is not the best, but doesn't matter. This is, as the title suggests, how to be the best EPiK teacher you can be. I'm going to help you do that today. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm going to get right. I have all my notes right here. Can you see my notes? I have my Burger King mug and coffee. I also have a school calendar, and this is a secret. So we're gonna get right into this. I'm going to section this video off into categories. I want this to be as informative and succinct as possible. I hate wasting time. So I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 categories. We're gonna first talk about surviving the first day of school, the textbook, the websites that I use to help make my lessons and my games, about the TEFL, Teaching English as a Foreign Language Certificate, about lesson planning together, class structure. We'll briefly describe semesters. Lastly, we'll talk about my calendar. So I'm so glad that you're on this journey. Let's go. So first things first, as an EPiK teacher, I want you all to very much remember this is a job. I said that in a previous video, but I really mean that. This is a job. It looks fun. It is fun. But don't forget to always put your best foot forward, because you're not here on a vacation. You're not here to look cute. You're not here to learn K-pop dances. You're not here to be in a K-drama. You're here to teach English. I take that very seriously. I went to school to teach English. I'm very passionate about languages. The first thing that I want to tell you all is to always tell yourself, when it comes to the teaching aspect of being an EPiK, that you can do it. I really want you to use that positive affirmation and say, I can do it. Always, in any circumstance, no matter what happens, just tell yourself I can do it, because you can do it. It's very simple. You'll get the groove of teaching as you go along. I was going to hop right into my very first topic of conversation, is surviving the first day of school. It's coming up for a lot of you teachers. I see you August people. I'm excited for you, because I'm about to be on my first year here, and you're about to be beginning that journey. So when it comes to surviving the first day of school, I want you to remember to just listen. Just listen. Solo escuchar. When it comes to that first day, you're going to go to your Office of Education, most likely in whatever city you're in. Obviously, I'm in Daejeon. And how it worked is, me and all the teachers who were in this city, in that intake, we went into a room together with all Korean co-teachers, and we pretty much, like, our names were read out loud. We walked up, met our co-teacher, and then boom, everyone drove right off to our schools. It's kind of scary. It happens really, really fast. So you got to be ready. Like, you honestly have to be ready. You're going to go straight to your school. I went to my school, I think, on a Friday afternoon. And I just had to listen to just everything that my co-teacher was telling me and just take it all in. I'm a very social, talkative person. So me and my co-teacher, love her. We started talking immediately to each other, just getting to know each other and everything like that. Love her. Another tip on your first day, you're not going to be teaching, so don't worry about having to teach. It is more of an introductory type thing. So I really want you all to remember to say hi. Say hi to everybody. Mostly you're going to see students a lot, and they're all going to be just very like bug-eyed and like curious as to who you are. You're the new teacher. So just say hi to everybody. Be as kind and welcoming as you can be. Also, I want you to remember this phrase. A lot of you already know this, so if you know it, don't worry about it. But 안녕하세요. 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 You need to be saying that to all the teachers when you come in. Any staff member. They're all going to be older than you, of course. So you need to use that formal greeting of 안녕하세요. So I will make a video in the future of how I learned Korean. I've been studying for about 3 years. The reason why I want you all to say hi and to really introduce yourself is because that is going to start that rapport. You really want that rapport in this job, because it is all about being social. Just really get in that groove. I promise you it'll help in the long run. Also, on your first day, you'll probably just walk around, see the classrooms, meet the other teachers. You're going to meet the principal and the vice principal, so please look presentable, be professional. And then I believe you will be going home early. So after you eat lunch, you will most likely go home early, but your teacher may ask you to make a PowerPoint, sort of an about me type of PowerPoint. This is very important. Honestly, this is something that you're going to be presenting for about a week or two. So my best advice to you is to make it fun, make it informative. Think about when we were in school or if you were still in school and your teacher kind of has an about me PowerPoint type of thing. You're going to be doing that. I'll show you an example of mine. I think the best advice for that about me PowerPoint is to make it in advance. I ended up having to make it in like the weekend before, and most people will, it's fine. But if you want to really be ahead of the curve, make that PowerPoint in advance. My second point is textbooks. You will be using a textbook. Get used to it. It is part of teaching. Anyway, so there are several different textbooks. I actually don't know the total of them. The two that I use are Chonje and Daekyo. So I use Chonje for 3rd and 4th grade, and I use Daekyo for 5th and 6th grade. There are many different versions and years of textbook, different editions. They are actually, some of them are quite informative and quite good for the students. I don't really have a preference. I don't mind. I like Chonje, I like Daekyo definitely for my students. I also want to let you know that there are Kakao group chats for, I think, almost all the textbooks. So that is super helpful. It'll be sort of a community of teachers who all use that particular textbook. You will definitely see a lot of people talking there all the time, just tossing ideas around. Hey, I need an idea for this lesson. Hey, does anyone have a PowerPoint for this game? Hey, does anybody have this, that, this? And everyone's there to help, so you're never alone. I also want to let you know that for sure. Even if you are a first-year teacher, it's okay. I am a first-year teacher too. They are going to have about 12 lessons, 12 chapters. Lessons are considered chapters, and they range from, I believe, the 3rd grade Chonje textbook starts with like, hi, my name is, as the first lesson chapter. Well, they'll be about animals, they'll be about family, and it'll be about that information for that textbook for that grade. Definitely, if you get the chance, just skim through the textbook. Also at orientation, they will sort of show you certain examples from the textbook. They have listening, speaking, reading, writing portions of the textbook, and those 4 categories will be within one single lesson. It sounds confusing and complicated, but I promise you it really isn't. When it comes to the textbook, you will not most likely be teaching out of it yourself. However, you will be creating games and lessons based off the chapters, lessons in the textbook. So for example, with 6th grade are on the Daekyo textbook on lesson 6. Lesson 6, the title is I'm going to go on a trip. That is the title of the lesson. The idea of the textbook is that specific phrase, I'm going to go on a trip. The students learn sort of a phrase like that with multiple different vocabulary words that can go into that phrase. And the idea is for students to sort of eventually plug in their own vocab into those working sentences. So for example, I'm going to go on a trip. Oh, where are you going? I'm going to go to China. Wow, cool. Thanks. Are you going on a trip this summer vacation? No, I'm not going on a trip. I'm going to stay home and feed the dogs. So this sort of dialogue is what will be taught about in every lesson. Switching some vocab words, the structure of teaching from a lesson in the textbook will sort of go like this. So the new lesson will start. We're going to keep with the example of I'm going to go on a trip for my 6th grade class. And first class is going to be I'll introduce vocab. I will show you where I get those PowerPoints from in a second. I'll introduce vocab. I sort of will read the words out. The students will repeat them, or I will sort of test their general knowledge on these words because some of them already know. And then the next class will focus on listening. There will be certain listening games we could play. And then speaking games will be potentially the next lesson if everyone is understanding the listening portion. After speaking will be reading games, reading activities, anything to do with sharpening the reading skills in juxtaposition with the lesson. And then after that will be the writing portion. And then after the writing, we will do a sort of review game, review lessons. So this will sort of last about, I would say each lesson can last roughly about a month or so, depending how all your classes are doing. You never want to rush a lesson So another example with textbooks. So we started our school year in March with lesson 1. And this was a brand new grade. Everyone got moved from the next grade up. So grade 6 started in March, of course. We start with lesson 1 of the textbook, and now we are in July and we are at lesson 6. So we are about at the midway point. Bingo. Now let's talk about the websites that I use to help find my games, my PowerPoints, lessons, review, basically anything. Let's get into this. This is very important. So if you do not remember anything else from this video, please remember these websites. They're going to help you out a ton. All right, I'm just gonna be 100% honest with you. I do not work from home. I've never worked from home with this job. I don't like having to come back from work. And I love my job, by the way. I love it, love it, love it. One of my favorite things about being in Korea is my job. But I do not like to work at home. I do not work from home. I'm not Fifth Harmony. What I mean by that is I know a few teachers and some of my friends who do a lot of work from home. They create PowerPoints. They create PowerPoints from scratch. They do so much work from home. And these particular websites that I'm about to tell you about can essentially eliminate that. I do not work from home. I'm basically a year into me being here, and I've never opened up my laptop for work. I literally never use my laptop for work, honestly. These websites that you need to know: coreshare.com, write this down or remember, waygook.com, eslintherock.com, Teachers Pay Teachers is okay, and twinkle.com. So those first 3 are gonna be holy grail. I really only use the first 2 mainly. Coreshare, amazing. It is a forum style website where people get together. So simple. All you do, open up Coreshare, you make an account. It's free. 100% free. It's free. Like, why would you not do this? So all you have to do is click on a grade. So let's take grade 5. Click on grade 5. It'll show you all the textbooks used in Korea for grade 5 ESL English classes. You will find your textbook. It'll show you all the lessons, the chapters, even down to the minute details like the reviews or the projects. Members essentially upload PowerPoints that they have created, games that they have created, and yeah, it's pretty simple. Definitely check it out if you don't have it. Honestly, if I were you, just create the account now. I found out about it when I came here. I honestly don't remember how I found out about it. I think my co-teacher actually told me about it now that I think about it. And I promise you that will help you so much. And we'll get more into that when I talk about my calendar, because basically everything that I use to teach my students comes from Coreshare. When you download these PowerPoints and games and stuff from this website, you have the option of editing them. So you don't have to leave it exactly how that person posted it online, if that makes sense. I like to add, in a lot of the games, I like to add references to songs that the kids might like or celebrities that they might like. I even like to personalize the games to put the students' own names in it. It makes it more fun, it makes it more engaging, and it makes them more willing to learn, which is the goal. Waygook.com is essentially the same thing as Coreshare. It is not much different, other than you may find a few different games and activities and things like that. So the only thing with Waygook is you do have to pay for it. So I pay about, I think it's really cheap, maybe like $5-ish, $12-ish. I will try to get the exact amount. I know it's not that much. And it's just like Coreshare. So sometimes if I cannot find a game on Coreshare, you might not be able to find something on Coreshare. However, you most likely will. You can always go to waygook.com. ESL in the Rock. I love that website. Super easy website. Basically, honestly, it's sort of a no prep type game. And all you do is plug in your grade, plug in your textbook, and boom, it'll just already put vocab words into the mini games that it already has on the website. So that is a really helpful one. Don't forget that one. As for Teachers Pay Teachers, I think if I remember correctly, I don't use that one very often, but it essentially is sort of worksheet and things like that. I believe you may have to pay for certain features on that site. Yes, I forgot. There is another website that is really, really, really useful. You may see a lot of these games from this site used on Coursera and Waygook, but this particular site is called TEIIISTeachingToolkit.com. I don't know who Tay is. I believe their name is Taylor with an E. You're amazing. We love you. So this particular individual essentially has a site where they have a lot of high quality PowerPoint games that they've created, and you can take them and they're templates. So then you can put in your own vocab, your own activities, and really personalize it for your students. All right, let's get into the TEFL. Remember, this is Teaching English as a Foreign Language Certificate. You're really gonna need this to be an EPiK. I believe it is not a requirement. However, it looks much nicer that you have it. I believe that you would have more of a chance to place in a city that you desire with having this, because it shows that you took the initiative to study and learn how to teach English and not just came here on a whim. Either way is fine, but I want you to be the best EPiK teacher that you can be, and you definitely want to study and get that TEFL. I got mine with Bridge Education Group. Really good. I bought it on a sale, I believe. I got the 120-hour masterclass. You're really gonna want to take that particular class, because that is the one that is valid for it to look the best on the EPiK application. This guy right here is all the notes that I took during my TEFL. So you can see I started this in 2021. Actually, I was about several months ahead before I came to Korea. I actually was doing this about a year before. This took me about, I'm gonna say, 5 months to finish, but as you can see, I'm really into taking notes, so I just took notes basically of everything. With a TEFL certificate, you are going to learn everything, and when I mean everything that you need to properly teach English the correct way. And this is without having a specific degree in English. This is without having to have an education degree. For example, this particular note that I have is the language focus stage of teaching. It talks about context, meaning, form, phonology, ways to introduce vocabulary, things like that. I would have to make a completely separate video on the TEFL, but best thing that you ever can have as a teacher. It really is gonna make you stand out, because you're gonna know so much more. So here's more notes. If you have any questions on this process, just let me know. Seriously, I'm always here to help you all. Lesson planning. That formal lesson plan that you studied how to do, that you learned how to do in college, like I did, that you had to present on your EPiK application. I'm going to be honest with you, as I always am. You will most likely never use a lesson plan or write one within your time as a teacher here. And a bit of a asterisk in that is that I'm an elementary school teacher. So I don't know if middle school teachers, international school teachers, high school teachers have to use lesson plans or present lesson plans. I know in America that the teachers there have to, but this is not America. Yeah, you most likely will never have to use a lesson plan. Now, you will see when I show you my calendar that I do have a sort of a lesson plan. Like, I have a structure, but not that super concrete one right here. This is an example of a lesson plan that I used in college that I actually wrote myself, that I have actually sent out to people who have watched my channel and DM'd me and said, hey, Davian, how do I make this lesson plan? How do I create a lesson plan for the EPiK application? It's gonna look something like this. So that really rigid structure of a lesson plan, you're most likely never gonna have to use that. And honestly, that's okay. The less work, the better. It is still very important to know the structure of how a lesson should be taught, as in the introduction, sort of introduction to the class. Hi, good morning, how are you? How did you eat lunch? How was lunch? Blah, blah, blah. And then easing into the lesson, and then starting with that, geez, I can't believe my college, what I learned in college is not slipping me, but it is going to be a very rigid structure of, okay, now we're going to this part of the lesson. But once again, I will reiterate, if you have any lesson planning questions, how to make a lesson plan, what a lesson plan is, anything of those nature, just let me know. I'm here to help you. That's what I do. That's what Daevians do. Let's move on and talk about class structure. When I mean class structure, I mean how your class is actually going to be ran. If you were teaching in elementary, it is 40 minutes. I know that for certain. All your classes will be 40 minutes long. I believe middle school is 45 minutes and high school, it'll be 50 minutes long. At whatever you plan for the class, whatever game or activity that you pull from CourseShare, from Waygook, that you pull from your mind, don't forget that you can always make and create games from your mind. I did that at the beginning. Essentially, with that 40 minutes, I'm going to give you an example of how my structure is with my two different co-teachers. So co-teacher one, I teach with her 5th grade and 4th grade. So my current schedule right now, I am with her Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. I'm with her actually most days. With my second co-teacher, we work together on Monday, Wednesday, and I believe Thursday as well. So with my first co-teacher, how we run things within our classroom, and I really love this way of us working together. She does 20 minutes of the textbook by herself. I don't do anything besides I walk around the classroom. Remember, as a teacher, you want to be walking around the classroom and really not patrolling, but sort of keeping an eye on everyone, making sure people are paying attention, not playing around, things of that nature, just really checking in on everybody's learning. So when she's teaching her first 20 minutes, I don't bother. I don't do anything besides walk around. I sit, I pay attention, I help if she needs help. But for the most part, that is her 20 minutes to teach the textbook. After her 20 minutes, it is my 20 minutes, just me. I lead a game all by myself, CourseShare, and I host it completely by myself with almost little to no input from my first co-teacher. She will typically sit at the back of the classroom. And yeah, I love that structure because I'm the type of teacher that I don't want to be in anyone's way, and I don't want anyone to be in my way. That sounds like a harsh way to put it, but it's just sort of the truth. So I love how we have created this system. I'm assuming this is her system that she already had before I came, but it's amazing and it's 10 out of 10. I have heard from some of my friends that is actually a little uncommon, my structure. I know a lot of teachers who actually teach 100% by themselves. The beginning, the middle, the end, the textbook, and the game or games. I'm definitely capable of doing that, but my teacher has never asked me, at least my first co-teacher has never asked me to do that. As for my second co-teacher, who I teach 6th grade and 3rd grade with, our structure is a little bit different. So some days I actually have led the entire 40-minute class period. But what I like about teaching with her is that we don't do the textbook, at least when I'm in the classroom, at all. So it is just 3 games that I have set up and that I present to the class, that I lead, and she might just help to give translation, or she might help in ways that she can, or she'll work on the computer and I'm actually up around animated like I am and leading the class. So this seems a little bit more work, but it's actually not. So like I said, with my second co-teacher, and you will see when I show you my calendar in a few minutes, that I have to pick 3 games, 3 activities to do with the students, whereas my first co-teacher, I just pick 1. I'm doing the last 20 minutes here, and I'm basically doing all the 40 minutes here. Okay, very briefly, before I get to the end of my video where I show my calendar and explain that, I also want to let you all know semesters and how they work. So very quickly, when I first moved here, I moved in August because I thought that was when August started. I wanted to come at the beginning of the school year, but it is not like that. So Korean schools, the school year starts in March. It is essentially year round, but it starts in March. So March, April, May, June, you're going to take June, July, August, you're going to take some sort of break, sort of a summer vacation. It won't be the 2-month-long summer vacation that us Americans are used to. It will be about a handful of weeks. So after that period, the students will potentially come back in around August. So with these new teachers, Coming in August, you're coming in the very middle of the school year, because now we just have August, September, October, November, and so on and so forth. That will be the sort of end of the school year. So the end of the school year will actually be in February. There's another break, I'm gonna say around January, February. February will be the end of the school year, and then boom, new start in March. So the teachers who come in around that March, springish time, that will be the beginning of the school year. Whereas the teachers who come in August, that'll be like that fall. You're going into that fall time. So I hope that helps. It is a bit confusing. I just wanted to briefly touch on it in this video so that way you can be more knowledgeable, because of course, knowledge is power. How are you going to be the best EPiK teacher if you don't know? Let's talk about the importance. It is very important to have a calendar. Here is my calendar. My Korean name is right here, Kang Usong. I've sort of had this for almost like a month into me teaching. It is really great to have, yourself be organized and to keep track of what you're learning, how your students are learning. As you can see, we're gonna go a little more in depth and read into my actual calendar, so that way you can sort of get a glimpse into my mind and see how I do things. I'm honestly so glad that I use a calendar. It is a way to stay organized. And I definitely think to be the best teacher that you can be, you're going to want to have some sort of way to remember everything. We teach a lot of classes, and I believe our job is very important. So how I like to structure is I sort of color code on most pages. You'll see that I color code. For example, here I have 1 5th grade class on Monday, 4 3rd grade classes on Monday also. And then Tuesday, 1 5th grade class, 4 4th grade classes. Wednesday, 4 6th grade classes. Thursday, 2 5th, 2 6th, and on Friday, 4 5th grade classes. So what I do is I write sort of 5th, 6th, I write the name of the lesson that we're working on in the textbook, and then I will write down the game, and I typically will have a check mark sometimes I highlight the check mark to know that, hey, this game is already used and I did it. The benefits of writing everything down is, of course, keeping yourself organized, but knowing what you've worked on so that way you don't do the same game. And definitely it'll keep you in that mind space of, remember, listening lessons first, speaking lessons second, reading lessons will be next, writing final will be review. So definitely you'll see right here, most of these games this was my last week of work before we went on this vacation period that we're in now. And most of these games are review games also. Mostly everything that I pull from here that you'll see on my calendar all come from Coreshare. So right here, Intro, Fantasy Quest is a game from Coreshare. Big Number Practice was from Coreshare. The Price is Right game from guess where? Calendar, definitely. If you want to be the best teacher that you can be, you're going to want to write all this down. Literally got this from Daiso for 1,000 won, so less than $1. And it has everything that I really need. Okay, so in this video, I would also like to talk about classroom management very briefly and your interactions in the classroom. This is sort of a bonus category, but I feel like to be the best teacher, you're definitely gonna want to know these things. I may have to make a future video because this is a very in-depth type of discussion that we can have about this topic. So when it comes to classroom management, I will make this section very brief because, like I said, I want to expand on this potentially later. So you want to, on that first day you walk into the classroom, that second day, third day, first week, first month, I need you to step in with confidence. I need you to, even if you're not confident, you definitely fake it so you make it. You have to walk in there and really not be overbearing, not be tyrannical, still be cool, be calm, but you have to have an air of confidence about you because students will definitely pick up on that if you are not. Now, I used to work in a school in America, and I love that school so much. Those students, if you are soft or unsure, they're gonna sniff it and they're gonna know that they can kind of mess around with you, and you don't want that. Obviously, that is not the case for me. because I'm fun, but I'm serious when I need to be. So definitely you're going to want to sort of rule with the iron fist, but in a velvet glove, and a very fanciful analogy. Typically also when it comes to classroom management, your co-teacher most likely will handle the brunt of that. But I will also tell you that students in this country, amazing. They take their learning very seriously. They are very diligent. There may be a few that play around a little, but they never are to the extent of American students. I'm not saying that my students back in America were bad, because they're not bad. Honestly, I have yet to run into any bad students, especially here, but even throughout my teaching career, when I taught swimming, when I taught English online, when I worked at a school in America, and even now, also a big thing of classroom management is respecting the students. I never talk down to them. I never joke with them too much. I never make fun of them. I never talk out of line. I treat them honestly like as if they were my little cousins, like my family. I love my little cousins so much. I treat them with a lot of respect, and students deserve that respect. They're not going to respect you if you don't respect them. So always respect the kids. Definitely have a way of capturing their attention. So I like to do something called Silent Pikachu. It looks like this. We used to use it in my Florida school, but it was called Silent Fox. So sort of what I do, and at first I didn't implement it because remember, I came in the middle of the school year. But now that I was able to start at the beginning of this February, I definitely have gotten into the habit of this. Silent Pikachu, it's literally like this. I just hold it up. Sometimes I don't even say anything. I just hold this up. The students know, oh, this is Silent Pikachu. They know, ooh, like to be quiet. Or sometimes I'll say, Silent Pikachu. I hold it up. I go like this. And I say like, okay, like who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready? And like you'll see kids start popping this up. And wait a second, let them quiet down. They will quiet down, and then boom, you keep going. I know people who do attention grabbers like clap, 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 and then everyone else does a clap, clap, clap. I know other things like catch a bubble. And there's a lot of silly ones like that. So yes, just pick one that finds for you. Be creative with it, honestly. So we're going to talk about interactions in the classroom, very short. So when it comes to interactions in the classroom, I want you to remember that be fun, be animated, be yourself, of course, but definitely I really want you all to remember to always, always positively encourage the students whenever they raise their hand, whenever they speak out, obviously in the correct context, answering a question, whenever they participate, whenever they go up to the board to write something, whenever they win a game, whenever they even make a mistake. Always, it's okay, good job, awesome, amazing, perfect, very good, clap, anything like that, because that means a lot to the students. They love that. They really cherish that. Everyone loves to be praised, and I think the hallmark of a good teacher is always encouraging your students. That's what you're supposed to do. You have to do it. Also, I will say another hallmark of a good teacher is knowing your student's name. It may take a while to learn them all. It took me about like 6 months, but I memorized almost everybody's name. And I will say another good hallmark is having a good reward system. I love to give stickers. I have a sticker box. I actually should have brought it with me. It's at my school as we speak, but I have like a sticker bucket, and I just, when the students win a game in the class, whenever they're doing well, whenever they wrote something well, like in their bell work, anything like that, sticker, 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 sticker. I get them K-pop stickers, soccer stickers, Sanrio stickers, Pokemon stickers, anything. Stickers is amazing. It's better than candy. It is something that will really help you out. So, all right, this video I believe is done. So how to be the best EPiK teacher you can be. I just wanted to talk briefly about 8 main topics with a little bit of tangents sprinkled here and there. You know how I do. So we talked about surviving the first day of school. We talked about using a textbook, the textbooks, the websites that I use, the TEFL, lesson planning, class structure, the semesters, and the importance of having a calendar. I hope you learned something. I know I did. I wanted to share this with you all. Thank you guys for watching. I have many really cool vlogs coming up, more informative videos like this. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who subscribes and who comments. I love you. I'm Daevin, and I will see you next time. And to everyone coming in August, best of luck to you. I'm sending you all the positive energy, positive thoughts, positive attitudes. To everyone who wants to be an EPiK, you can do it. Remember, like I said at the beginning of the video, you can always do it. I'm also sending you positive energy. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye.